Be ready. Gautam Buddha began life as a prince named Siddharth Gautam in northern India. Stop. At 12, he was sent away for schooling in the Hindu sacred scriptures, and 4 years later, he returned home to marry a princess. Stop. They had a son and lived for 10 years as befitted royalty. Stop. At about the age of 25, the prince heretofore shielded from the sufferings of the world while out hunting chanced upon a sick man, then an aged man, then a funeral procession, and finally a monk begging for alms. Stop. These sights so moved him that he at once went out into the world to seek enlightenment concerning the sorrows he had witnessed. Stop. He wandered for 7 years and finally sat down under a peepal tree where he vowed to stay until enlightenment came. Stop. Enlightened after 7 days, he renamed the tree the Bodhi tree, the tree of wisdom, and began to teach and to share his new understandings. Stop. At that point, he became known as the Buddha. The Buddha preached his first sermon at the city of Banaras, most holy of the dipping places on the river Gangas. That sermon, the Buddha's wisdom about one inscrutable kind of suffering. Stop. A lady had an only son and he died. Stop. In her grief, she carried the dead child to all her neighbors, asking them for medicine, and the people said she has lost her senses. Stop. The boy is dead. Stop. At length, the lady met a man who replied to her request, I cannot give the medicine for the child, but I know a physician who can. Stop. And the girl said, pray tell me, sir, who is it? Stop. And the man replied, go to the monk, that is the Buddha. Stop. The lady repaired to the Buddha and cried and said, Lord and Master, give me the medicine that will cure my boy. The Buddha answered, I want a handful of mustard seed. And when the girl in her joy promised to procure it, the Buddha added the mustard seed must be taken from a house where no one has lost a child, husband, parent or friend. Stop. That poor lady now went from house to house, and the people pitied her and said, here is mustard seed, take it. Stop. But when she asked, did a son or daughter, a father or mother die in your family? They answered her that the livings are few, but the dead are many. Stop. Do not remind us of our deepest grief. Stop. And there was no house, but some beloved one had died in it. Stop. Now that lady became weary and hopeless and sat down at the wayside, watching the lights of the city as they flickered up and was extinguished again. Stop. At last, the darkness of the night regained everywhere. Stop. And she considered the fate of man, that their lives flicker up and are extinguished again. Stop. And she thought to herself, how selfish I am in my grief. Stop. That death is common to all, yet in this valley of desolation there is a path that leads him to immortality, who had surrounded all selfishness. Stop. The Buddha said the life of mortals in this world is troubled and brief and combined with pain. Stop. For there is not any means by which those that have been born can avoid dying after reaching old age. There is death of such a nature are living beings. Stop. As ripe fruits are early in danger of falling, so mortals, when born, are always in danger of death. Stop. As all earthen vessels made by the potter and in being broken, so is the life of mortals. Stop. Both young and adult, both those who are fools and those who are wise, all fall into the power of death. All are subject to death. Stop. While relatives are looking on and lamenting deeply, one by one mortals are carried off like an ox that is led to the slaughter. Stop. So the world is afflicted with death and decay. Therefore, the wise do not grieve, knowing the terms of the world. Stop. Neither from weeping nor from grieving will anyone obtain will peace of mind. On the contrary, his pain will be the greater and his body suffer. Stop. He will make himself sick and pale, yet the dead are not saved by his lamentation. Stop. He who seeks peace should draw out the arrow of lamentation and complaint and grief. Stop. He who has drawn out the arrow and has become composed will obtain peace of mind. He who has overcome all sorrow will become free from sorrow and be blessed. Stop. Para. It doesn't matter who you are. Stop. Happiness is something we are all after. Stop. Sometimes it is easy and natural, and other times it is a total struggle. Stop. Although we desire happiness, but we are not sure how to truly get it or achieve it. Stop. Para. According to some health and happiness experts, here is what happiness really looks like. Stop. You enjoy the lifestyle you have created. Stop. We are in the present life situations because of choices we have made. Stop. We each have the chance to create our own lifestyles, and if you have done so with love and intention, you are probably a pretty happy person. Stop. Overall, a happy lifestyle can be defined as a genuine feeling of peace and fulfillment within yourself. Stop. Life can be complicated due to constant changes and demands. Stop. But if at the end of the day, you feel at peace with how and you handled the situations of your life, you are on the right track. Stop. You speak your truth. Stop. The more comfortable you are with yourself and your own opinions, the happier you will be. Stop. Happy people feel confident in themselves and are not too worried about what other people think about them. Stop. This frees them up to be open and honest with others in their life. Stop. Happy people are also brave enough to say what they are truly feeling. Stop. You pursue your passions. Stop. When you are not consumed with worrying about what others think of you. Stop.